top 5 storylines entering training camp presented by Bet365, and it just starts there. That's why I just had to jump into our top 5. Russell Wilson, the easy number 1 storyline, Ryan?
No.
Give me a break. You just said it starts with Russ.
It does.
What are you talking about?
The number 1 storyline
Okay.
is the potential of Javonte Williams coming back from a catastrophic knee injury in, 8 months?
Yeah.
That's a story.
Yeah, it certainly is. That's number 2, though. It's all about the quarterback, Ryan. I don't care if Javonte Williams runs for 2,000 yards this year and just breaks every record, breaks everyone's mind of what he just did physically and on the stat sheet. It doesn't matter if Russell Wilson sucks. Because if Russell Wilson sucks, then you're going to be 9-8 with a historic running back season. If Russell Wilson turns it around and Javonte isn't the Javonte Williams that we know yet because he kind of needs a full year to get back, and you do get good play out of Samaje Perine, the Broncos are going to win 10 games if Russell Wilson plays well and is the Russell Wilson of the first 10 years of his career.
Okay.
You okay
I'll take it, but I don't
one?
think it's the number 1 storyline. I think it's the most important thing for the Broncos.
Okay.
But I do think the storyline. We'll put Russ first.
Okay.
What is it? Can Russell Wilson come back? Okay.
Wait, what is it? What
Russ comeback?
What was Russ's hashtag? It wasn't comeback season.
It was restoration season.
Restoration.
No, he said restoration season. We said restoration season.
Yes. Okay, Russell Wilson comeback question mark. Ryan, I agree with you about number 2. It's easily Javonte Williams.
Zach, this isn't being talked about enough.
Yeah.
He's not even on the PUP.
Yeah, it's incredible.
If he is just out there with the ones, my brain is going to explode.
Your brain is going to explode because he was out there in the offseason program. Now, obviously, way less contact than we're going to see in training camp. And I have to imagine that he's going to be limited to some extent, at least for the first couple practices of training camp. And I still am cautiously optimistic about Javonte Williams. But Ryan, I am just mind blown the fact that he is not on PUP. I mean, last year, I thought they might just put him on IR to start the season and just can him for this entire season and just say, get better, because this is such a horrific injury. And less than a year later, he's ready to go for the start of camp.
It makes no sense.
No.
I don't know. I'll probably get roasted because I spent the whole offseason talking about what running back they should go after because he's not going to be back. But I don't even care. First of all, and this isn't on me. This is like a medical miracle happened.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it's one of two things. Literally a medical miracle. Javonte Williams is unlike 99.99, not just percent of humans, but like other athletes as well. Or the extent of the injury wasn't as bad as we've been led to believe, and no one's just uncovered that it wasn't as bad. But I'm going to take all of the reports at their word and just say that Javonte Williams is this absolute, we already knew he was a freak of an athlete, but just like his ligaments are not like anyone else's.
Yeah, or they hit up Harry Potter for some healing serums or whatever. My mind is blown. I'm so happy that it looks like he's going to be back.
Yep.
I hope that we're pressing all the right buttons here.
And right there with you. And you talk about how this is a storyline because just because he's not on the PUP to start training camp doesn't mean he's all good to go. And we'll see exactly how they treat him, if he's half limited, if he's really doing nothing, they just didn't want him on the PUP, or if he's 100% ready to go at the very start, and then see how he progresses after getting hit in a first preseason game. See how he progresses after a very intense day of practice. Full day of pads, first full day of pads, next Monday, Ryan. We're less than a week away from the first full day of pads in camp. So that's a storyline to follow because every day we're going to be seeing, okay, after Javonte practiced yesterday, what is he doing today? How does his knee look? Oh my gosh, he doesn't have the brace today. Oh my gosh, he's not practicing. What's going on here?
Yeah. Every day we will be following it.
Yep, 100%. Number 3.
I think we're going to be on the same page.
Okay.
Number 3 is just like Sean Payton's first training camp.
I hesitate to even putting this in the top 5.
The coach?
Yes. And you know why? Let me explain this to you. I know what Sean Payton is. I know what he's bringing.
You do?
He's bringing. He's a top 5 coach in the NFL right now. And you can debate
That's
if he's
a story.
4, if he's 7.
He's in Denver.
No, but that's just who he is. I mean, that's what the Broncos are getting with him. And being out at the offseason program, just seeing him, it's like, okay, they've got a great coach, nothing to worry about. Move on to the next thing. But I can put him here at number 3. And the reason is because just...
it's a story.
It's the first... Yeah, I just don't think we're going to be coming in here and following anything with Sean Payton.
Oh, yes, we are.
I think it's just going to be like, yeah, this team looks like a competent team that's being coached extremely well.
A huge fucking story.
But that's what they have right now. Like, there's nothing like with Russ. Is he going to be good or bad? We're going to be following that. With Javonte, is he going to be practicing or not? With Sean, there's no question for me. That's why it's not really a storyline. Is I just like... It's a known thing for me, you know?
The question is, what does his training camp look like?
It's going to be intense. We know that. It's going to be intense.
That's awesome.
It is awesome.
We're going to talk about it a lot.
And another interesting thing with this training camp is Sean Payton could have had the guys practicing tomorrow. Instead, he decided to give them 2 days of conditioning, just like he did in the offseason program. So he's doing things differently where there's actually going to be less football practice this camp because he's also giving them the longest stretch that these guys have in terms of practices is 3 days. Ryan, we've seen practices or stretches with Vic Fangio, Gary Kubiak, Vance Joseph, where they have 4, 5, 6 days in a row of practices. And I think the reason why Sean's only doing max of 3 is because he is going to run them into the ground and then say, we're going to make it really intense 3 days, but then I'm going to give you a day off. So I'm going to treat you right, but you better be ready to go for 3 days in a row.
I love that. That's a story.
But we know it. I know what you're saying, and I think because it's his first camp, I'm totally okay putting it in here. But to me, there's just no questions in the best way possible with Sean.
Okay, fair enough.
Number 4. There's a few different ways I can go here.
I have a leaning.
I would say health.
That's not a story.
What do you mean it's not a story? That's something we don't know at all. So what's your leaning go to here?
How the wide receiver room shakes out.
Okay, and specifically with that, I would go Marvin Mims just to see is he the number 2 receiver?
That's your guy.
See the number. He's Sean Payton's guy. He's outside of them picking up Jerry Jeudy's 5th-year option. He's the only significant move they've made where you point and say, that's Sean Payton's dude.
I like that. The whole wide receiver room is fascinating to me. Start from the top. Jerry Jeudy.
Yep.
Came on like a true number 1 at the end of last season.
Yep.
Is he that guy?
Yep.
Does Sean Payton think he's that guy? Does he unlock him to a new level as he's done with so many wide receivers before him? Cortland Sutton. What's the deal here?
Yeah.
Does he have a place? Because they shopped him pretty hard.
Yep.
Tim Patrick, is he healthy?
Really quick, rumors buzzing around Cortland Sutton that the Patriots are potentially interested in him now, still. I haven't been around to dive into him enough to know if they're rumors or if there's something substantive there. Just your hint.
Yeah.
You think there's something there?
Yes.
I do too. Just a hint or just a guess.
Where there's smoke, there's fire, and there's literally been a smoldering smoke for the entire offseason.
Yeah.
So I just think there's an interest there in moving someone.
And that's also a big part of the storyline. Does Marvin Mims prove to be a good enough 2 or 3 with Tim Patrick?
Yep.
And then they can say, yeah, maybe we don't need a second for Cortland because we feel really good about this receiver room. We'll just settle for a 4th or something.
Yeah, and so you have that, and then we haven't even talked about Tim Patrick yet. Is Timmy healthy?
Yeah.
Is he the same guy that he was before the injury, or at least close enough to where we're excited about him once again? The whole room is just fascinating, and even down to like the last couple spots that they're gonna have is like it's kind of interesting. So I love that room, and wide receivers are one of the best positions to watch at training camp.
Yep.
So I like that there's extra intrigue on that position.
It's one of the easiest to judge, too. Someone saying offensive line has to be number 5. I don't think so, because I think this offensive line group at worst is average.
So what's the and I'm asking this, to the commenter just out loud. What's the question with the offensive line that would build a story? How much better are they?
Yeah, I think it would be, are they elite? And we just won't be able to find that out during camp. And so that's why my number 5, if we're not doing health, which is BS, Ryan, BSRK, I think you got to go edge rushers here, because this is the deciding factor. If this defense can be top 10, or if they could be pushing bottom 10 group in the NFL this year. If the pass rushers are great, and Randy Gregory's healthy for the most part, and Frank Clark is the Frank Clark of a couple of years ago, and Baron Browning gets healthy by the time of the start of the season, or at least a couple weeks into the season, and he shows flashes like he did last year, this group could be great. And if they are great, this defense has a chance to be great. Unfortunately, the way that it's just projecting in my mind right now, Baron Browning's hurt right now. He's placed on the NFI right now, so he's not going to be ready for start of camp. I'm worried about what he's going to look like for just the rest of the season, since he had a pec injury. And now Randy Gregory, just not counting on him being healthy. Jonathan Cooper, Nick Benito. I mean, this is kind of the group you're looking at that could be the starters for a significant amount of games this year. And Ryan, if that unit isn't good, then you're really going to hurt not Pat Surtain and Justin Simmons, but you're really going to hurt the rest of the secondary and the inside linebackers in coverage, and then the defensive line's going to have so much more pressure on them. I think the defense, how good they are, completely rests on the edge rushers.
Man, that's a scary one, because the question there is the opposite of the offensive line. The offensive line question is, how good are they?
Yeah.
The pass rushers, how bad are they?
Yeah.
Sadly. That's the position that I think they're in. So, maybe Randy Gregory is healthy the whole year, and Frank Clark is Pro Bowl Frank Clark.
Yeah.
That's like best case scenario for the Broncos.
Huge.
And even then, you have two guys who, like, their best season ever combined would be, 15 sacks?
Combined?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That scares me.
Yeah, it's very true.
Deeply scares me. So, I don't know. I think, you said it's not going to hurt Pat and Justin. It will. It will hurt them. The one time Pat got cooked last year was on a double move from Javonte Adams.
Yep.
If you have a pass rush, there's no time for double moves.
Great point.
I worry about the pass rush so much. Yannick Ngakoue still sitting out there.
Yep. It's very true.
So, you talk about the pass rushers as a storyline, just the guys on the market and following it and seeing if the Broncos feel like they need to make a move is kind of part of the story. I would feel so much more comfortable about just the group of pass rushers that they have if they were to go get Yannick Ngakoue.
So I completely agree, because he is a consistent 8 or 9 or 10 sacks every single season. And you don't have to have an asterisk there and say, when healthy. No, he's just always healthy. Man, it would be pretty wild if in 2 months before the season starts, they add 2 pass rushers that end up leading the team in sacks. So that is something certainly to follow. And those are our top 5 storylines presented by Bet365 that we will be following every single day of camp.